Alright. So, Twitch chat. I'm going to teach you guys how to solo carry in your elo. Not my elo. Your elo. How do I tell how to play for ADC or Jung? It depends on champions at that point. That's just understanding more about the situation. So when you're drafting like a safe champion like Hui or, you know, far range AD carries that can just kind of soak up XP from afar. You're talking Ezreal, you're talking Corki, Smolder, all these champions. Champions that don't really snowball as hard. See, playing with the snowball AD carry, those are the ones that you kind of want to stand by. But if it's someone who's going to just free scale, that's when you can look to abandon your AD carry for a long time. Now, even with a snowballing hyper-fed AD carry, you can still make cross-map plays with the support, but you have to understand timers. Timers is when you should look for the objective. So whenever the grubs first spawn, if you know that your jungler is looking to contest that, you could go help them, which is like a 10, 20, 30 second, sometimes a minute long investment, but the payoff is worth more than what your bot lane is losing. So at max, your AD carry should lose maybe 1.5 waves, which if you're getting an objective and possibly kills, it's going to be more than beneficial for your team. And you know, some simple communication will be able to kind of help with that play as well. But a lot of the times as a support, you kind of just want to stay in your own lane depending on your draft. Like if you're drafting a support that's meant to stay in bot lane, then you just stay in bot lane. Like if you're drafting like a engage support, that's when you can look to rotate quite often. Can I coach you, please? Sure, like I said, other streamers get coaching for free, and you are a streamer, so why not? I wouldn't mind. Alright, so we're going to teach you guys how to play a little bit more selfish. It's something I honestly wanted to tell all you guys about, so if you guys are interested in climbing with Kayn, this is the game to watch. Or at least these are the games to watch, because climbing in Challenger, as I mentioned earlier, is a lot different than how you guys would climb in your own elo, and this is going to be a little bit more helpful. So I think the number one thing you want to keep in mind is how selfish you should be playing. You should only really think about yourself, and you should only really play through yourself, because you're the only constant in your games, right? You can't control if your teammates are doing good or bad, and honestly, they're all non-factors. Your teammates are going 0-10, 10-0, it doesn't matter. How you individually perform and your consistency with that performance is the only thing that will help you with climbing, nothing else. So first things first, you want to have a very fast and efficient full clear, which if you guys go to any of my videos or watch any of my gameplay, you'll be able to, you know, you can rewind this clear and kind of look to do it yourself, right? It's pretty straightforward, I would say, right? So that's the easy part. And then we're going to focus on things like when to look for a gank, when not to look for a gank. So look at their bot lane right here. This is a wave that's getting shoved in, and then you have to factor in, okay, it's a Draven Nautilus versus Hui Karma. It doesn't take a challenger player to understand that Hui Karma at level 2, level 3 is not stronger than Nautilus Draven. Now, if they take a bad trade, like, you know, Draven steps up too much, eats too much damage, and Nautilus wastes his hook, right? Maybe I could look for a play here, but until then, it's just not worth, right? And we know that the enemy jungle is pathing top down, so top down means top to bot. And if he's doing that, then I should look to actually go for the top scuttle instead of going for the bot scuttle, because this contest is going to be with a, you know, much stronger early bot lane. So instead of like looking to contest this and having any risk of a lost fight, I could just go to the top scuttle, and then I can go set up vision in the top side of the enemy jungle. And setting up that vision in the top side of the enemy jungle will help me tracking him, and tracking the enemy jungle is going to be very lucrative towards being able to path loops around him, essentially. So you can see him in body, it's 24 CS, not 28. We're looking on Vlad here. You get a kill. Make sure this wave is shoving in here as well. Actually, yeah, he's right. That is going to shove in for him. So look at this. You got a ward here, control ward there, and a little trinket over here. And then I can go farm all my camps top down. Now, if you're wondering if I should have taken his Krugs on spawn, I could have, but honestly, it's a little bit risky, because he could stick around in bot side, look for another bot play, and then maybe go get my Raptors. So there's just a little bit of risk involved with that play, and I can also kind of hover this area and deny the proxy. So I'm kind of doing 2-in-1 in terms of defense, because, you know, the best offense is a great defense, right? So knowing how to defend your camps is just as important as knowing how to take camps, because if you know how to defend your camps, that's probably the hardest thing you're going to learn as a jungler, I would say. Off the top of my head, depending on which type of champion you're playing, because mechanics are very easy. I think once you get better at the game, mechanics are going to flow like this. Once you like kind of get in the hang of your mechanical plays, I don't think mechanics are the hard part of the league. I think as a jungler, of course, you know, this, I'm not talking about mid or AD carry. I could care less about what you know, mid and AD carry players. I don't care about you. No offense.
Thanks for teaching us this game, laughing face.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure. But what I was saying, as a jungler, I think the hardest part is understanding how to defend your camps properly. And because you have to constantly track the enemy jungle with and without vision. And right here, it's like understanding like, okay, I can catch this wave, and then I can catch my Krugs, and then I understand his Krug respawn timer because I have the vision. I understand his Raptor respawn timer, so I understand the timer that I have to go get grubs, and then Krugs, and then I can go get all my camps, and then I don't have to worry about getting my camps invaded because the timers of my camps, I'm going to be able to match with all these plays that I'm going to be making in this, you know, in a row, right? And by the way, if this game plays too fast for you and there's too much fidgeting, I dare you guys to go watch a professional RTS player like StarCraft or Warcraft, any of those, because my APM is relatively low on the gamer spectrum. So right here, we're just watching. Once again, this is a bot lane that's a little bit hard to like look for a play on. Don't need to overforce, and we could also just look for the top side objective. So we're just gonna look on that. We're gonna hold on to sweeper now. So normally against a champion that is a much more higher tempo early game jungler like Wukong, you'd like to hold on to your trinket, but because of Wukong's interaction with his W, you want to make sure that you have sweeper. That way you know whenever you're gonna be fighting the Wukong, you're hitting the real Wukong and not the clone Wukong, because that's the skill ceiling of Wukong to a degree, I guess. What if you're a handless piece of dog shit though? If you play the game long enough, I guarantee you're gonna have the gist of mechanics down. I've seen people that have zero mechanics play in Challenger, trust me. Trust me when I tell you. Alright, so get this. And remember what I said about my play. We're gonna get grub, into invade. Okay, so notice right here, I'm actually going to do a little bit more of a calculated investment here. So instead of going for the triple grub, I'm going to go for the red, because if I go for the triple grub, it's going to give the announcement that I took the grubs. He's going to know that I'm on his red, and then he's going to like beeline it straight here with Vlad, and they're going to be able to stop me from taking this buff. But if I actually give up one grub, or if I just delay the grub, then I can get this without any fear of like, you know, getting caught out or any fear of like losing this. So I just get a free buff here essentially. And I don't have to worry about the Krugs because the buff is more important. So let's say I want to get the third grub. Why not? Sure. Get the next respawn timer. I mean, I have infinite top mid prio. Why not? Like that. And then we see Wukong over here. So notice what he's gonna do. He's gonna, if he goes up, then we know he's gonna go to his Krugs. If he goes down, then he's gonna look for my Raptors. So if he goes up there, utilizing the vision plan here, I'm able to assure that I'm not gonna get my Raptors invaded. If I don't see him go up, then I have to go down. That way I don't lose my camp. Correct? Because that's just what I'm talking about. That's the skill ceiling of jungle. That is making sure, okay, he's not getting anything, I'm taking everything, right? That makes sense to you guys? Is that like a little bit more of a understandable concept? So this is pretty much, if you understand a gist of what I'm telling you, the basic core concepts of taking and not giving, then that's gonna make you genuinely 10 times better than any jungler in your elo. I guarantee you. I will bet money on it, okay? Because it's, as someone who's coached a lot and watched a lot of lower ranked jungling, you notice the same traits of, you know, just people not thinking about this stuff. I think once you take a step back, a lot of the time when I'm playing the game, my mind is not on what's going on in front of me. It's what is coming next, essentially. I'm always thinking about what's happening next, what's happening here, what's happening there. So even something as simple as like watching the waves, right? Because if this wave shoves in and it bounces back, then I have like a 30-second gank window, right? Or let's say mid here. If this guy's trading and this guy gets low enough, then I can look for a dive angle right here, right? I can just walk up and look for the dive here, correct? Or I can look for the dragon play. Like there's so much opportunity. So this is where you kind of have to understand optimization of like what is best for you. And this is where the conversation that I was having before this game comes into hand. So in Challenger, yeah, I go for the objective, I play through my laners, I sacrifice my advantage to get my team ahead because that's Challenger. But when you're playing in your elo, you want to play more for yourself. You want to think selfishly. So you want to pick up free kills on your own, but you also want to make sure that you're getting every camp that you can, you're stacking as much XP as you can, and you're denying as much XP as you can. Because if you're consistently able to get leverage over the enemy jung, you will find that games become 10 times easier. Doesn't matter if your teammates are 10-0 or 0-10, right? I can promise you that much, because that's really the main argument. If what you know between like what is a challenger player and what is not a non-challenger player, it's just efficiency, right? There's nothing I could do that you guys couldn't do, essentially. Now, obviously the mechanics and understanding all this shit, it takes time, right? And that's what me as a content creator can help you figure out, right? This is just poor execution. It's fine. Looking for this play isn't bad. The execution was bad. And it's nothing to get angry about, because you'd rather have a play be attempted and not go well than not have the play happen at all, right? You never want to be someone who's never looking for plays because, oh, my teammate might do this, my teammate might do that. Dude, your teammates are always going to be doing stuff that you don't agree with. And if you lose your head over it, you don't have what it takes to be a jungler. And if you can't bounce back from it, then you don't have what it takes to be a good player either, you know? You have to be willing to accept others' faults and do something with it, I guess, you know? That's kind of what being a jungler is. That's why jungling is such a stressful role. So, listen, I know it's not all caked up what it seems to be, but I think the results that you find playing jungle as opposed to any other role, it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it, more than anything. Alright, so we're going to go for this, and we're going to go longsword here, and then we're going to go for our topside camps, and we're going to set ourselves up for the grubs. So this is where we're going to go into the conversation of thinking ahead again. So notice the grubs are spawning in around 35 seconds here, and I have my reset. I'm pretty strong. I'm pretty set up for whatever play is going to go on, and I just want to maximize all my value. And see, this is what I was talking about with the support rotation timer. This is where if my support wants to rotate, it'd be fine. It'd be perfect. So I'm actually going to ping my support to come over here, right? And here's another thing about League is that you can communicate with your team as well. Like, a lot of people, they think that you just can't communicate with your team. And believe me, I do this in every elo. A lot of the times, if you're doing, like, good and you're consistently doing good, people are going to listen to you. Now, some people won't. That's like, you know, in life, some people just won't listen to you. It doesn't mean that you should stop talking for the rest of your life, right? That's a silly way of seeing things, you know? I think a lot of people have that mindset, but they don't apply, like, League logic to life logic. Life logic and League logic go kind of hand in hand. If you're looking to like actually succeed in this game, you can't be like, you know, too critical on things, and you can't be too one-dimensional in the way that you see things. You have to see the bigger picture, I think. And yeah, he makes the play in bot lane here, and that's pretty bad. But see, I have to think it's an opportunist instead of thinking like, oh, you know, what happened there? I have to think what happens up here. So we get grubs, we get topside invade, and then maybe we can defend some bot side camps. Maybe, but see, there's not even a topside camps invade right now, so we're gonna instantly shift our tempo into thinking about, okay, what's the play on Vlad then, you know? And, you know, this guy might not play it the best, but and we're just gonna go as aggro as we can, and this is just having faith right here. And see, that's what I'm talking about. You have to have that blind faith in your teammates to think, okay, this guy's gonna be able to do this for me. Now, let's say Galio didn't ult me, would I be kind of upset? Yeah, but at the same time, I'd rather go for that play, have it not work out, than have it, you know, have no play ever, right? It's just understanding I'm so ahead here. I have so much leverage. It doesn't matter who comes there. There's no AD carry in sight because I'm looking at the map at all times. And see, this is something that's a little bit more advanced, is that you see all this fidgeting going on. Not only am I doing that, I'm also looking at the map every 2 seconds. So I'm like giga aware. I'm like hyper aware of what's going on. But that's not something the average League player needs to do, genuinely. Like, that's, if you want to be a Challenger League player and you want to like giga climb high rank, yeah, then you could utilize these tactics. And even still, like, Challenger players don't even do that. They don't even like do all this. This is something that I watched a lot of Korean players did when I was like first playing in Challenger, so I want to do it myself. And now that I've gotten comfortable with it, it is one of the biggest assets that I can utilize, right? But you don't need to do that. Like, I hate that people think that you have to do so much to be a good League player. You don't have to like utilize every single tactic in the game. Understanding the core fundamentals of the game and just understanding your champion's limits, I think is the only thing you need to do if you want to climb from, you know, whatever rank you're at to the next highest rank. And the better you get at that, the more you're going to climb. It's as simple as that. Alright, we're going to look for a play, maybe. Wukong was kind of hovering this as well. It's definitely not a blue game, by the way. This is going to be a red game for me. Last game, I made the mistake of going blue when I should have went red, and I think this is a game where I'm not going to make that same mistake. I want to go red here, and I want to just counter the fact that Vlad's going to be stacking HP, because a percent HP damage champion will have a lot more value into a Wukong Vlad and a, you know, even a Draven who's getting a lot of sustain, especially since I rushed the anti-heal. Now, in hindsight, you know what? Bramble might have actually been better, depending on how ahead this Wukong is, but, or not Wukong, Draven, but I think we're vibing. So look at that, slow into a slow, and you guys are probably thinking this is just pointless to like fight him. The reason why I'm fighting him is because every hit I continue to get on him, it actually lowers my form timer, so even though I got the wrong form, I can actually continue to lower the timer, so that's kind of a, it's just saving me time in for the future, I guess. Yeah, we could just play to kind of gatekeep this camps here. I was really hoping my bot lane would both help me out there with getting the camp, but it's okay. That's my fault. I should have noticed when they walked away. I got way too over aggressive there. They use so many ults there. That is too greedy. MB. See, that's a very hard thing for me, I'm not gonna lie to you, is shifting the mindset between playing in Challenger and playing in like a lower ranked account. Because right there I just have to back off, get the blue and get all my bot side, because now I lose 3 camps for going for an extra camp. In a Challenger game, I get assistance there, but it's my fault for not recognizing that they weren't behind me. I have to be like more hyper aware, because my eyes were looking at where the, who was in mid lane and how far away they were, because I knew if there was 2 here, then me and Karma can get the camp and get out, but it's okay. Like I said, it's just a mistake I made. Yeah, we can just guarantee a force here because this guy has no ulti, so getting the shutdown here is actually going to be the highest value play. And then we could actually go for the dragon. So this is kind of how, if you're not tilting over the mistakes and you're able to focus on your next play, you're going to find a lot more value than the average player. And I'm telling you guys this because this is one of the biggest issues League players have. They make a mistake or a mistake is made and they're so tunneled on that mistake they don't think about their next play. And there's going to be a next play, maybe 10 seconds from then, maybe a minute from then, maybe 2 minutes from then, but there's going to be a next play. And when you're just stuck in that one-dimensional mindset, you're never going to be able to find it. So now we're going to get our form and we're going to maybe look for topside camps, maybe a rift as well here. I think right now, I'm just going to go Shojin. It's good to get the HP. It's good to have a little bit more survivability. I wanted a little bit of a glass cannon build to start with an executioner voltaic. As I mentioned, maybe Bramble would have been better. Getting the armor would have been good. But now we're going to look for the objective. Good for Ambessa to start the objective here. I don't have my smite up, so I have to be a little bit mindful that Wukong might try to steal it, but it should be fine no matter what. Yeah, then they have Singe. It's actually pretty easy for Kayn to play into Singe. If he tries to go in, you just knock him up. You don't need to chase him. What is that, rule number 1 of League or something? People used to say that all the time. Don't chase the Singed. See, that's not chasing him. That's just killing him for free. Okay, now we're just going to farm our camps. And yeah, see, Karma can move around the map because Sway can honestly just sit from afar and just clear waves and soak XP. Because he's actually higher CS and he's 0-5. I mean, he died 5 times, but I mean, it's Masters Elo. People aren't going to be playing perfect lads. Okay, we're going to trinket. Or we're going to break that. Okay. So there should be like 3 in my jungle right here. Jesus, man. I'm just getting so focused. I need Sterix ASAP because I am getting so focused. Nice. Holy moly, Evna. Some funny people coming in. Evna, you want to play some TFT tonight? After a couple more hours of League? Maybe like 2.5 more hours of League. I'm gonna go for Shojin. You're doing a really good job of keeping me down, actually. I'm not gonna lie to you. But the thing is, when they use so much to just kill me, it's actually pretty good for us because Galio's ulti is perfect for that kind of situation. And it's honestly just my itemization. I think if I went Bramble, I wouldn't be surviving in a lot of these plays. Not gonna lie to you. Mercs? Nah, this is a horrible game for Mercs. Draven is their most fed champion. If Draven's able to free auto me, he's gonna kill me in 3 autos if I don't have plated. Can't ignore a fed 80 carry ever. Mercs are one of the lowest value items in the game. You should only get it if you 100% need it. And their CC isn't... Merc treads can't do anything into their CC. Nautilus CC doesn't get affected by Mercs. Wukong CC doesn't get affected by Mercs. Draven CC doesn't get affected by Mercs. Hell, Singe W doesn't even get affected by Mercs. There's nothing on their team that would actually make me want to get Mercs. Because the thing is, you never get items are your boots based on the stats you need. You get it based on the passive you need. So the passive of being able to block the auto damage is much more important than the tenacity, because tenacity is valueless in this situation. And if I need an MR, then I would just get like an actual MR item, like a Kayn or a Hex or you know, a Visage. But I don't even need MR yet. I just need to get some HP. The thing is that me dying isn't bad because they're using so much to like kill me essentially. Okay, we waste this guy's ulti. And then we just played a kite out. Once again, look at how much they're using, and look at how low they get. This is just to kill me, right? You see what I mean? Like, it's good. It's like I'm the sacrificial lamb of this game, right? And that's fine. That's pretty much doing what you need to be doing. Getting off that much damage and taking this much is very important, because we're holding them in a position where they're not going to die because my team can follow up, and if I'm eating all the damage and they have to use everything to kill me, then my team can do a lot. So, works out pretty well for us. And yeah, egg on my face for not deciding to go Bramble this game as opposed to getting, you know, Executioners. I definitely needed the armor, and I needed the, pretty much. Pretty sure Nautilus root counts. His auto? I don't think people think about Nautilus auto when they think of hard CC. They think about his ulti and their hook. But yeah, it does. It's like the only thing. I don't think you'd ever get mercs for one root. I guess 2 roots if you count Singed Root, but even then. Okay. We have a really good angle. I knocked up Vlad. Pretty obvious he just wants to like go crazy on me here. Knocked up Wukong. Nice. Nice. That's pretty good. Yeah, see, if I don't get focused in a team fight, I'm able to actually just go in and do my thing. It's game over. Well, that was a good game. GG's.